Hey girls! I can't stop doing that, and I will be cutting it out from the rest of this video, but I'm sure it will happen a lot in the background. Hi, it's 2 a.m. and I'm starting a new vlog. I did want to start it earlier today, but I was in between books. I do want to do 2 quick updates. One is a DNF that I've experienced in the past 4 hours. The other is the book I started after that to recover mentally and physically. I just came off of reading, a book I did not like, Julie Soto's sophomore novel. It was an advanced copy too, which I feel really bad about because most of the buzz going on about it is positive and I did not like it. But I was like, let me just jump into something tried and true. I really love Sierra Simone. She's done me wrong a couple of times, but I still have a lot of faith in her because I love her writing style. I think she writes really great scenes, and that was what I just wanted. I just wanted something easy and something I could give 5 stars to, or 4 stars to at this point. I'll pander. And so I started this and I was like, oh my god, it's so cool, because the plot of it is that it's like an alternate universe America where the president and the vice president and her are a throuple. I know that's inconceivable to us because presidents are like 80 or 90, but in this one they're like 35 and she's like in her 20s. So I started this and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so steamy, like politics, and oh my god. Yeah, why did it immediately jump into throwback chapters where she meets them when she's 16 and they're like kissing at parties? The way that I paid money for this is astonishing because I immediately put this book down. It was like page 50, it was like chapter 3. I was like, never mind. Anyone who has ever recommended this book, which is no one, I've just been interested because I liked her. You doing good? Let's talk. I have decided after this book I have a new category, and that maybe deserves a video of its own, but authors and books, as well as the readers who enjoy them, that just need to be in prison, because and this is not the first book I've read where I felt like that. I know it's not illegal to write quite literally in the Constitution, not to be political like this book is about free speech, but sometimes you just shouldn't, you know, whatever. So I stopped reading that book. It was funny though because I was marking it as read on Goodreads. I usually don't rate books that I DNF, but this one I was like, star, because it has a really high rating and all the top reviews are 5 stars. Speaking of top reviews, I was scrolling through them just to make sure I wasn't crazy. I was like, someone back me up here that this is bonkers. And who do I see other than all of our favorite author, Colleen Hoover, rating this book 5 stars. So I feel validated that I feel the exact opposite from her, so I'm right where I need to be. To recover from that, at this point, if I choose another book that is not good, I don't, like, what is my reading taste anymore? Maybe I need to pull from a physical book and not just all the things that I've randomly downloaded on Kindle over the years. But I have been really interested in reading more from this author, and I have a couple of her books downloaded, so I chose one at random. And by at random, I mean this cover made Shelby giggle when I was reading them out to her, so I'm now starting this book. I'm purposefully not saying it out loud because Bonnie's on FaceTime, and I want to get further into it before telling her about it because it's a trope that she loves. The thing that's in the title, she loves this thing, and I want to make sure it's actually good before I tell her I'm reading it and she needs to get into it. So I'm gonna let it marinate for a little bit because I'm only on page 34, but so far I think it's setting up to be good. The other book I read by her I really liked. I'll come back and tell you more when she's not on FaceTime. Honestly, when I was reading at Shelby's house earlier, I almost fell asleep on her couch while starting this book, but I do want to get a little bit more of it read. It's like 450 pages, and for me in a romance book, I'm like, enough. That's enough. But I also sailed through her first book, so I'm not too worried about the pace of it. Anyway, had a great day today. We did an escape room for my birthday. My birthday's in 2 days, but by the time you're watching this, it'll already be past. Had a great day, okay? It's probably because I didn't have work today. It was the main reason. But before I go, just the cats say hello. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Handsome. Well, I was gonna say hi, Bonnie, but she's brushing her teeth. That's all. Talk to you tomorrow when I'm further into this book. Hello. If I look a mess, it's because I've been cleaning so hard all day. But I have an unboxing. So I somehow ended up on the close friends list of a book talker that I've loved for years, and I can't believe we're even mutuals. But Eamon was selling books. I'm just obsessed with her. If you don't follow her on Book Talk, you have to. She's so funny. I was like, yeah girl, I'll buy some of your books. And this is my splurge of the year because I don't really book shop, so maybe I'll consider this like an early birthday present to myself. Oh my god, she put like confetti Eddie and stuff in it. Love her. So I ordered 3 books. This first one I didn't even know existed, but I'm very intrigued. Madeline Miller has a short story. I literally didn't even look this up. I just added it to my cart because I'm like, if it's Madeline Miller, how can it be bad? I don't know how to pronounce this. Maybe Galatea? This is obviously set in Greece. A marble sculpture of a woman with this name is given the blessing of life, and so she falls in love with her sculptor, or maybe doesn't fall in love, maybe is just forced to marry. It's Madeline Miller. Like, this is a cute little hardback, so I got that. And then I also got the only volume of Heartstopper that I don't own, which is volume 3. I read all of these. I think book 5 is now coming out this year or next year, so we're getting close to the end, but I love these, obviously. For some reason I have 1, 2, and 4, but not 3, so grabbed it. And then I got this book, just because there's been so much talk about it. I don't know. I got The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, because this went crazy online. And this was pitched as like a really good book for people who don't read a lot to get into, which I know is not me. But it's a YA book, and it feels somewhere between like a mystery and an adventure. I'm a big fan of escape rooms. I literally just did one yesterday, and this feels like that kind of same vibe where you have to like solve puzzles and de-riddle some codes. There's this billionaire that dies and leaves the main character Avery his fortune if she goes to his mansion, which still has his family living there, and goes through all of his like riddles and stuff to get the inheritance. It sounds kind of implausible, but this has so many good reviews. I've just been curious about it, and this was just a couple of dollars and I wanted to support my friend, so I'm calling her my friend as if I'm not just a viewer. Yeah, those are the 3 books I got. Let me know if you've read it. Actually, I've read this one, so don't tell me if you've read that, because I did too and I don't care. But if you read either of these and liked them, LMK. These will be going on my TBR shelf. And happy birthday to myself. Oh shoot, I have chicken nuggets in the air fryer. You're coming in here with me. I look like an anonymous tip in a documentary. There we go. On the front of reading this book, I read a little bit more of it last night and this morning. I'm currently 20% of the way through. It's interesting because this main character, she's a British celebrity. She's an actress. She's really young. She's very successful. And she has a stalker who breaks into her house and like takes a picture of her while she's asleep. And then when the police come, they're like, you made that up. So she takes on hiring some new security herself, and it's these 3 dudes from this like top prestigious company. So they're all very intense. One of them's like scarred and rugged. One of them doesn't like celebrities, so he just automatically has beef with her because she also has this very public persona of being a diva and being rude and mean, which all that it's really talked about there so far is that she just calls out other celebrities for being shitty. And so everyone interprets her as being like this catty, really rude A-list actress, when really she's misunderstood and she's really great. But I'm finding those parts of it like kind of corny. So far it's like okay. The one thing that I'm really excited for is that obviously she's like recovering from the trauma of feeling like she's being invaded. You know, she's seeking like comfort and security in these guys, and they're with her 24/7, and they like live in her house with her so they can keep eyes on her. And I kind of can't wait for it to transition to like, oh no, protect me. I love a damsel in distress, okay? I am a feminist. I read a lot of books about women who can handle their own shit. I also do love a book about women who need help and women who are scared and need someone to like tuck them into bed at night. So that's my toxic trait. I'm gonna eat my chicken nuggets. I'll update you more the further I get into it. Oh, one more thing I forgot to say. Obviously, I'm excited for when the protection detail turns into her entourage of men that she is getting freaky with. However, I'm kind of nervous how that transition's gonna go, because right now they're like assigned to protect her and they work for her. And I mean, like, obviously part of me is like, ooh, but what if it becomes more? But I don't want it to be like, okay, well, can we even trust them as security men if they're just fucking her all the time? So I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm very interested to see how she'll transition from bodyguards to lovers. Does anyone like that trope, bodyguards to lovers? But that's the one thing we'll have to see about, because I'm not sure how well she's gonna handle it. So far, it's going toward like a 3.5, 4 stars. It's several hours later. Some would say approaching my bedtime, especially because I have to go into office on Mondays now. But I left my Kindle in the other room, but I just finished skim reading about 70% of the way to the end of the book. I had a fun time the first few chapters. I think the last time I talked to you, I was like, it's setting up to be a little bit weird, but I'm excited to see like how it'll tackle, like, she has this trauma from being stalked and how they're gonna be like sensitive and nice toward that. I did not like this book. I'm really sad because based on how her first one was that I read by her, which was something about like nannies. She was a nanny for these 3 guys. That book was so heartfelt and so well done, and I loved it. But I don't think this author could tackle the breadth of a celebrity main character and like the complexity of that. B, what it means to be a security detail for someone, because everything, I'll get into that. The main character was so annoying. The way that she came to terms with her fame and the way that it was written about like, but I'm really not a diva, but she just acts like a diva the whole book. I didn't like the main character at all. I don't think she was well developed. I think her dialogue was really annoying and cringy. All she did was bicker the whole book. And then the men are hired to protect her, but literally every single time they need to protect her, there's like information that they're missing, or they can't get a handle on her, or they don't tell her information about the situation, where like they're so inept at their jobs. It is bonkers that anyone would pay money for them, especially because the lead guy has like complex PTSD and every day is having like multiple flashbacks, which I know is part of his character, but it's like, are you qualified to work a job at this intensity if you can't even handle that day to day? And then on top of that, what I thought would be like a really seamless transition from, oh, they're just my bodyguards, to, oh, now there's something more. There was no seamlessness. It was just like, I can't sleep because my bedroom is traumatizing. Can you come sleep with me? And then they diddle all night. It was so bad. I didn't like this book, and I'm kind of sad that I read it because I wanted to read all of her books, but after this one, I'm like, should I? So then, like I said, by the time I got 70% of the way in, like 300 pages into this book, it's 450 pages, by the way, which is too much. It was so drawn out and overly wordy. It even had the POV of her stalker, which was so cringe, because he was like, I love her, I need her, I'm gonna kidnap her. It was so bad. And so, I mean, obviously the rising action of it is they have their confrontation. I just didn't like it, and it was so drawn out. I literally just like skipped chapters until the end to see the resolution, aka the last sex scene, and then I was out. So I think I'm gonna give that 2 stars. I did not have fun even though I spent like my whole day reading it. So that was great. What does a girl have to do to read a good book? Apparently Bonnie's advice was read from my physical TBR and not from Kindle Unlimited. So I'm reading one of her favorite books. Hopefully this will just be a change of pace. I want something lighthearted, but this is the classic YA series, I Tell You I Love You, Then I'd Have to Kill You. What's the series title called? The Gallagher Girls series. I've never read anything by Allie Carter, I don't think. And this is, I've seen this in bookstores since I was like 15. I'm gonna give it a little bit of grace for probably being written in the 2000s. Let's fact check that. Yep, 2006. I have no expectations. I have no idea what this is about. I do know it's like a 10-book series. I don't think I'm gonna get that invested to read all of them. No offense, Bonnie, who's on FaceTime listening to this as I speak. But I'm gonna give this a go. Lily Gold, you have disappointed me, but maybe one day we'll return and read either her book about the Swedish man, or I don't even know what else she has. We'll see. Hi, handsome. Okay, bye. Good morning. It is 8:30. I have to leave in like 5 minutes. I got about 50 pages, I think, into my book last night. And I just wanted to update real quick because I think it is so fun so far. I am not someone who read spy books as a kid or was interested in mysteries, or I really only liked real world fiction when I was a kid. So I don't think I would have ever read this, but I'm happy I am now. The whole concept is the main character is the daughter of the leader of a spy school. It's kind of funny. It's like teaching girls in middle and high school like the art of espionage, and all their parents are like secret agents. It was really funny because an outsider just came up to the school and they have this whole code red system where everything gets switched out so it doesn't look like it's a secret society. Like all the banners will change to normal banners and all the books will get like switch around. It's very cute. It definitely has that early 2000s vibe, almost like Princess Diaries, where the main character is explaining the story to you like very point blank, like she's talking to you in a conversation. But I don't know, I think narration like that is a little bit charming. So I'm definitely enjoying it so far, and my phone's already blowing up because the campaign goes live today, so wish me luck. Well, happy birthday to me. I put Shelby to work. Don't look at me, I'm sweaty and I'm stinky. What do I look like to you right now? It was like 80% humidity today. I don't think any woman in the state of Texas is looking great today. But it's my birthday! And Shelby invited herself over unannounced to me showed up at my place. I almost cried 16 times. I was so happy to see her.
I was gonna say, that could be like bad for some people, so you should specify that it wasn't bad.
I wasn't gonna let that be a standalone statement.
Okay, good.
She came over when my parents were coming over to do gifts, and so I opened hers, and I have to share because it is so fucking cute. Color me surprised when I opened one of my bags of gifts, and they are all blind date with a books. And now I have to put aside all of my reading plans for the rest of the summer because this has now turned into a new video idea. 2 of them are what feels like paperbacks. I know I'm gonna do a whole video on these, so you'll just be hearing, hey. You'll just be hearing this twice. Maybe I'll just skim through it now. But they all have cute stickers and tabs on them, and she put the descriptions of, like, it's a romance book. This is one of your 5-star authors, so I predict this one is Tessa Dare. We'll see. This one is the first in a series, a sapphic. Our friend Sonia gave this 4 stars, so that could be anything if we're being honest. These ones are like one by your favorite author, one by, there's like a trope that you've wanted to read before. This one's historical fiction about animal-based sports. Oh my god. This is so cute. And she got me a lot of other great stuff. So I'm just like, what do I deserve my friends for? Get you a friend who will buy you books, but then also like clean your kitchen that you haven't touched in 2 weeks. But also, reading update. So one of the birthday texts I got today is from my friend Caitlin, who I used to work with. I like crashed her book club months ago because she and her friends had read Fourth Wing and wanted to do a book club on the second one. I had just read it previously, so she was like, hey, you've read this, do you just want to join our book club and talk about it? And I was like, sure. She impromptu invited me to, they're doing like a emergency book club session about, I guess Caitlin just started this book that she's obsessed with, and apparently all of them are reading it now. So this Sunday, I'm gonna try and join them for it, so I have to halt what I'm reading to read this instead. It's called Broken Bonds. I'd never heard of it before. I don't even know who it's by. Jay something. Jay Bree. She even said this is like a Wattpad book, but it's, you have a bond with people who are your biological soulmate, and then you also have gifts, which are like magic powers. I had no idea what to expect. I don't think it's Omegaverse, even though it has the weird biological attraction. But the one thing that's gonna hinder this book for me, I'm like 16 pages in, 5%. She talks like, I mean, the main character's 19, and she does definitely talk like she's a Wattpad main character. It is so corny. She uses freaking every other word. She's like, these guys are so freaking annoying. He has an 8-pack. I'm down to clown just to have a discussion about it. So this book's not even 300 pages. If it's just smutty. Oh, it's also like a reverse harem with like, she apparently has been on the run from her bonded people. I don't know why or even what that means, but then they capture her to put her with them, and it's like 5 macho dudes. 2 of them are brothers, which I hate that trope of like 2 brothers being into the same girl. That has to be some kind of form of incest. But I'm gonna drop what I'm reading now, which I will say I am enjoying the Gallagher Girls first book. It's kind of the total opposite from what I'm transitioning to, but I think I got like 75 pages through that one. I'm not DNFing by any means. I'll probably get back to it after Sunday when I go to this book club. But that's all. That's the birthday update.
Oh, you didn't show them the rest of the stuff. You didn't show them your water flavors.
I was just doing a book haul. I can do a full birthday haul. Oh. First is, as we all know, coconut flavoring from our Dr. Peppers. Always a classic. I'm big into water talk right now. So I have ocean waters from Sonic. That'll make your pussy throb, and that'll make your shit green. Can't wait. I haven't shut up about how I need travel-sized salt and pepper shakers. Mother heard, mother listened. And then my AirPods are fucking broken. Look at these having a screen on them and like LED lights. I'm about to go test these out. So I have wireless headphones because also my ones with wires just broke. Desperately needed that. Hey girl! And then the main attraction. Slow zoom.
These are Skittles water packets because Whitney has not stopped drinking the Jelly Belly ones. These are tropical Skittles and these are normal Skittles, and then in the middle is a combination of the 2 because I was gonna put the ocean water here, but they didn't all fit, so.
That's all. Goodbye! Birthday update! Book haul! I love Shelby! Just started the worst romance I've ever read.
Literally.
Actually, it's not as bad as the book that we started out this vlog talking about, so we'll see. Y'all, I'm trying. I'm really trying to get through this ebook, Broken Bonds. As we discussed, I'm just reading it because I want to go to this book club that my friend is part of. I think the girls are super fun. I'm like 50% of the way through this book. I've been struggling to get that far through it, which is crazy because a lot of the Goodreads reviews were like, I flew through this in a day. How? The writing is so obnoxious. Let me actually search and see how many times this main character says the word freaking. It's one of those narrators who's like, oh my freaking god. Yeah. In this entire book, this author has used the word freaking 185 times. The writing style, barbaric. Absolutely miserable. But then I was like, when am I gonna get some payoff for all the torture that I'm going through? Because not only is the writing incomprehensible, I still don't understand the world. It's so hard to understand. I know that there's humans and people with gifts. She has not done any kind of setup on what the fuck that means, which it's supposed to keep you in the dark for like why the main character is the way she is, but it keeps you too much in the dark. Not explained at all and so confusing and stupid. But then I was like, let me just give myself something to look forward to. Like, when does the porn start? I can't make this up. I'm searching for the C word. I'm searching, you know, all the like a keyword in a scene that you could find. Nothing. You have to be shitting my dick. There's no porn in this book, allegedly, unless she just writes it in a stupid way. I literally had to go to Goodreads and check the reviews and make sure I wasn't crazy, and everyone's like, this book is kind of just the setup for the rest of the series, so you have to read this one. I wasted so much time on this. I do not like it. It is 100% getting 1 star. It has 100,000 ratings and a 4.16 stars on Goodreads. Why? I cannot fathom. Like, maybe it's because I missed the whole Wattpad fan fiction reading phase of life. I was too busy like riding horses and being an asshole when I was in middle school. What is it about this that people find addicting? Because I cannot stomach the garbaggio writing, the garbage writing. This book is so bad. And I know why I'd never heard about it. It's because it is not. I'm not the target audience. Oh, also, I did continue my book that I'm buddy reading with Bonnie. I think I talked about this in a previous vlog, but it's called Beyond Words, which is just a case study on this guy trying to get people up to speed. The animals aren't just creatures of instinct, they actually have thoughts and feelings. So I'm now 166 pages through this. We have moved on from the elephant section and it's now talking about wolves and wolf packs, which is so interesting. I wouldn't say there's so much science, it's a lot more about observation, but if you want a good mix of like scientific observation with lush writing about being out in the nature with animals and observing them, like I think it's pretty cool. Definitely makes me more sympathetic to what animals have to go through and how humans are ruining their environments and the planet. Hee. That's my love. Oh, we love a chin scratch. Hello, I'm coming to you fresh from the movie theater about 7 hours ago. I almost said I did a thing. Hi millennials. I have never gone to see a movie by myself, and today I braved that and I went and saw, for the first time ever, a movie by myself. I'm 27 years old. And I went and saw the first Lord of the Rings movie, which I had also never seen. Part of me kind of wants to DNF everything I'm reading and just read high fantasy for the next rest of the year. I did go ahead and book a seat for today or tomorrow and the day after that for the second and third movies because it was so good. But anyway, reading update. Hey girls! I'm here to report that this book, like, what makes this book worth it? It was terrible. It makes no sense. This whole book, she's like, I have to run from bad things and my power is so bad. Bad things are gonna happen. Like, it sets up all this foreshadowing that's just never explained. Nowhere in this was my interest ever peaked. This is gonna be a really fun book club discussion tomorrow because I'm just gonna show up with a snack and some opinions because there's no way this is getting more than 1 star. None of these characters are interesting. The whole setup of it doesn't make sense. Why the fuck are we on a college campus? Yeah, I'm not reading any of the rest of the books. I don't care about any of the dudes. They're the same guy, copied and pasted. Did not like that. I'm just here to gossip with the girls tomorrow, so done with that. honestly, Lord of the Rings is probably 68,000 times better than this. Did y'all know that Tolkien inspired C.S. Lewis to be a Christian? Which means that Mr. Tumnus would not exist if not for Tolkien. My life is suddenly like invisible stringing and everything's falling into place. But anyway, I'm continuing. I Tell You I Love You That I Have to Kill You. I'm halfway through this. I'm on page 170. I don't know, it's just fun. I feel like I'm 12 when I'm reading it, but I know the main character is like 16, so. I was telling Bonnie this almost, even though she is in high school, this feels like, you know those books you read when you were in middle school that were about girls who get their period for the first time and they're like, oh my god, what's a tampon? Like, this book kind of gives me that vibe, even though there's like not any period talk. But it's just so like innocently juvenile and it's so implausible, unrelated to periods. It's just so implausible, but like fun implausible. I'm enjoying it. So I do have to get up at like 10 for this movie that I booked. What's it called when you book a movie? This movie that I'm attending? But I have a row to myself tomorrow. So I'm gonna vibe so hard at 11 a.m. watching Lord of the Rings, is it the Twin Towers? The Two Towers. I'm gonna have to be chained. What's stopping me from going to a bookstore right now and finding the Lord of the Rings? I literally looked up a list of like top high fantasy books of all time. I was on Reddit, I was on Goodreads. There's so many on the list, like Lies of Locke Lamora and Mistborn. I never read Mistborn when that was a huge thing in like the 2010s. Maybe I should get into my high fantasy era. I need to read Les Mis before I read other books that are 1,000 pages long, but I don't know, I just like dragons and wizards. And quests with friends. Oh my god, Lord of the Rings was so good. I can't believe I hadn't seen that before. I guarantee though, because they're all like 3.5, 4-hour movies. The last movie, I think it said it was 4 hours and 16 minutes. Yeah, I hope the credits on that one are 45 minutes long, because what the hell, Peter Jackson. I don't think I ever would have watched them at home on my own free will and paid attention. So, I'm really enjoying them in the theaters. You should go if I don't upload this video 6 months later, which I probably will. But you should watch them! Good evening. Different night, same camera angle. It's the next day. I got home from book club tonight at like midnight. It was fire. Thank God I was not the only one there who hated the books. So it was actually pretty even split and it was funny talking about them. Yeah, I hated book 1. They did not convince me to read book 2, but it was fun to talk about it. So that was amazing. I did also go and see the second Lord of the Rings movie, which is called Two Towers. And I keep calling it Twin Towers on accident. Somehow it was better than movie 1. I love them. So I was debating whether or not I wanted to go to the third one tomorrow or I can see it next week, next Monday. We'll see if I'm too tired to watch it tomorrow, but I'm excited. I cannot stop thinking about Legolas. Like the whole movie, the whole second movie, everyone is so sexy. I was just thinking of all the fan fiction that I need to read in my head as I was watching it. It's so good. But yes, I'm sleepy. I don't imagine I'm gonna be able to stay awake much longer than for like a chapter, but I'm on page 200 of I Tell You I Love You That I Have to Kill You. I want to finish this. I was gonna say tomorrow, but given that I'm going to my movie probably the day after that, I guess once I finish The Lord of the Rings I have to watch The Hobbit, which I've never seen, and then read those books. And now I really want to read high fantasy, but then I also need to read all the books that Shelby got me for my birthday, so I'm so conflicted. Thank goodness I still have 100 pages left of this to figure it out. But yeah, just wanted to update that book club went really well. I am deeply into an ungodly obsession with Legolas and Aragorn. I'm just a sleepy little girl, not looking forward to going into work in person tomorrow. Oh my god, I just started reading and forgot the camera was on. Third day at the same angle, who would have guessed? It's like 1 a.m. I had a really tough day at work today. I cried in a team meeting in front of my entire team about morale in the workplace. Everyone's leaving because everyone doesn't like it there. And that was really embarrassing. And then I stayed late at work to finish a PowerPoint that's due by tomorrow. Then I realized it's actually due Thursday, so I did all that for nothing. But I've just been in a bad mood all night. I don't know why I'm recording because I didn't get that much further into this. I'm on page 215. I want to finish it right now. I haven't, at my time of filming this, I have not uploaded in like a month. We are crashing and burning girls, so we are taking all the enjoyment we can gather from books about teenagers who just like boys and have slumber parties in their dorm room. Like, this book has Zoe 101 kind of vibes with all the girls in the same room that just like get up to escapades. It's like if Sherlock Holmes and Zoe 101 had a love child. If I look hellish right now, it's because I'm continuing to have a bad week. But I wanted to close out this vlog complete with soy sauce stains on my shirt from having pot stickers for dinner. I only had like 60 pages left of I Tell You I Love You That I Have to Kill You to finish before we could have a clean break with the end of this vlog, so I just went and did that, and as expected, it was just a fun time. I don't think I'm gonna continue the series. I think I'm gonna give it like 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. It was quick. It feels like, you know when you would do state mandated testing back when you were in like elementary school and you would take the test for like half the day, but then the second half of the day you'd be having silent reading time and you would have to bring a book. Like, this felt like a book I would have brought for silent reading time. It was addicting and it was cute and it was funny. I did think the action at the end was really rushed and awkward and weird. I also think that the epilogue sets up the sequel to be kind of interesting, so I'm not against continuing the series. I probably would just definitely read them from the library. I thought it was fun, but I know I've been working on that book for like 2 weeks now, so I just wanted to wrap it up. But I need to edit this video now and also like shower and get ready for work tomorrow. So I just wanted to close this out and say goodnight. Thank you all for watching. A sneak peek of my next vlog. I'm diving into high fantasy like I predicted I would. I don't even know that Narnia is considered high fantasy, but I just rewatched the movie with Shelby and Sonia a couple of weeks ago and I was like, I need to read that whole series. So I just started the first book and I'm already on chapter 5. It's so quick and easy. I'll withhold more comments because I'm probably gonna do an entire separate vlog just about Narnia. But that's everything. Thank you for joining me this time around. Bye friends.